Hello, I'm BrigantiaBlackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Tuesday. You know I've got thoughts. Do you remember the game Jenga from back in the day? You had all these rectangular logs, you built them up in this solid tower, and then you'd carefully remove the logs from the bottom and then stack them on top. And the goal was to see how high you could build and how much you could remove from the foundation and lower levels before the tower completely collapsed. I can't think of a better metaphor for what we're going through than that. One by one, it seems the elements that support the structure of society are being removed, and then this huge, overbearing structure is being built on top of all of us. How much longer can it go on before it collapses under its own top-heavy weight and its foundational instability? I don't know. But it is clearly unsustainable, and it's not something that we can just ignore until it goes away. I've heard this state of affairs called a controlled collapse of the United States, and the description isn't really unfair, at least in my opinion, but lately I'm seeing less of the control and much more just thoughtlessness, recklessness. And when we hear the fools in office talk about economic, social, and political situations, what percentage of those idiots actually sound like they have any idea what daily life is like for anyone who isn't a millionaire? Now, whether they're acting ignorantly or malevolently or some combination of both, uh, regardless, the politicians are making choices and creating policies and laws that appear to be utterly detached from any understanding of reality. And this is what happens when people get insulated and they're not facing that daily grind anymore. And they have more money than sense and more powers than what their morals can actually handle. I'm emphasizing the self-evident fact because some people among us are struggling to make sense of what's going on, and they just cannot bring themselves to acknowledge how out of touch and oftentimes how evil the powers that be really are, because they just cannot conceive of someone being just so absolutely reprehensible. But here we are. Now I'd like to draw attention, if you are familiar with the tarot, to the Tower card. Generally, when this comes up in a reading, people aren't exactly thrilled because the tower indicates collapse, disaster, destabilizing change, and that it's all inevitable. It's a scary thought. It may very well be that these politicians who've been playing Jenga with all of our lives have done enough damage that the tower is going to inevitably tumble down at some point, and we're just going to have to deal with the consequences. But rather than being afraid of this eventuality, let's look at it as the opportunity that it really is. We have been in need as a country of profound reforms for many years, and thus far the institutions have just been too strong and too rigid for us to make very much effective headway. However, the more unstable we become as a nation, the easier it will be to impose change, to either reform or to do away with the very institutions that were the architects of the collapse we are experiencing. If we keep our feelings in check and keep a level head, at least as far as we're able to, it will be within our power to seize the moment and use the instability caused by all of these awful people who don't care about us, and then create something stronger and better that actually has a chance of lasting for longer than 5 minutes. So I know these are scary times, and I'm sure what I just said didn't exactly take away anyone's anxiety, but I think we can use this energy constructively. It just requires force of will and having a vision that doesn't involve us turning into a complete dystopia. We can do it. It is within our power. And I hope you will join together with people who are seeing the same possibilities, the same opportunities, who will also help you stay strong, be lifted up, and above all, to start worrying about what might happen and then start thinking about what we can do with what has happened. So let me know what you think in the comments below, or come see me on Discord at Blackbird's Brew. There's a link to join in the description box below, and I would be very interested to hear your thoughts on this topic. But that'll do it for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.